Hi, everyone. Welcome to our final review at the Daniels Faculty of Architecture, Landscape and Design at UofT. I'm Sam Dufault, the course coordinator and assistant professor teaching stream. I'll give you a quick introduction about our project for this semester. So the studio is a second-year course, part of a 3-year MArch program, and it is the last core studio in the curriculum. The studio is called the Comprehensive Design Studio and focuses on the architectural scale. This course project is also integrated with the other classes the students are taking this semester, specifically structure and building science. In addition, we have had guest consultants, structural and sustainability engineers who came to review each project in the studio a couple of times. As a result, the project integrates a high degree of technical resolution, and for an academic context, I would say it is the closest a design studio is to the work that we do in architecture offices. We have a total of 96 students working in pairs, so 48 projects divided between 9 groups of instructors. The project is the Climatorium, which is the headquarters for the Civilian Climate Corps, CCC. The CCC is a new civic institution enabling the greater goals of the Green New Deal to decarbonize our economy. Its goal is to train and deploy throughout the US a large and young civilian workforce to address the threat of climate change. The Climatorium is both the administrative and training center for the CCC, and it is also a social infrastructure for the local neighborhood. The project has been framed very similarly to an architectural competition brief that we do in the context of offices for new buildings with a given site and program. And we expect the level of resolution ranging from the urban to the one of the architectural detail, material, and system integration. The critical context for this course is the climate emergency. Buildings and construction play a major role in this crisis, accounting for 40% of energy-related CO2 emissions. The task of the studio is to rethink how buildings should be built, unbuilt, and programmed, given that we have a very short time left, about 8 years, to completely decarbonize our industry. So students are designing net zero buildings, and we gave them, as a starting point for the semester, a carbon budget to work with, and the carbon budget is 0. This means that students need to consider a whole life carbon approach and address both operational and embodied carbon as a fundamental part of their design approach and ambitions. Students had to demonstrate through this course and also the building science course ways to achieve net zero through energy models and embodied carbon calculation and representations. Okay, now a little bit about the site. The project takes place in New York City, in the South Street Seaport area of Manhattan's financial district. It is today a surface parking located at 250 Water Street. The site is framed by the high-rise buildings of the financial district on the west side. You see in the background, the site is here. That's the parking lot in the front. But also it is framed by, the Brooklyn Bridge, the East River, and FDR, which is the major highway here on the east side. Here again, the site is the parking lot. So the site, and of course, more generally, Manhattan, was originally the land of the Lenape tribe and became, in the early 1600s, the first harbor for the Dutch settlers who founded New Amsterdam. This area played a very important role in the early history of New York City and became, over a period of 200 years, one of the most prosperous commercial districts in the city. Today, the South Street Seaport is a historic district composed mostly of 18th and 19th century architecture, 4- or 5-story brick buildings, mostly. The larger area of downtown Manhattan has evolved in the last 20 years from a primarily office downtown district into a residential and mixed-use neighborhood with young families moving into the area. In 2004, a master plan and several built projects by shop architects transformed the South Street seaport, reconnecting it with the adjacent neighborhood and adding new recreational amenities along the waterfront for the residents and visitors. Since 2012, when Hurricane Sandy battered New York City, the focus has shifted into a race to save New York against sea level rise and increased extreme weather events related to climate change. There is currently a large berm-like shoreline extension project being considered to protect the South Street seaport, site is here, and all of downtown Manhattan from flooding, while also adding new recreational amenities. Our site is in the highest risk flood zone in Manhattan. Today, about half the site, which is the southern portion toward the water, intersects with the 100-year floodplain. The lot area is approximately 4,450 square meters or 48,000 square feet, and it's located in the C6-2A zoning area. It's a commercial zoning designation that allows for a density of 6.5 for the FAR and a maximum height of 36.5 meters or 120 feet. The site is bound by 4 streets. Pearl Street on this side, which is the west side, the larger road, Beekman Street on the south, Water Street at the east side, and Peck Slip, which is the more pedestrian boulevard connecting to the East River. And I'll give you a little walking tour around the site, starting along Pearl Street, the larger road with the residential development here on the right side. Continuing down the street, turning and walking along Beekman down toward the South Street seaport. You could see that the area, has all cobblestone pavement and all the kind of historic brick buildings. Turning from Beekman along Water Street, which has a blue school. It's a private school, mid-block, and continuing toward the corner along Water Street, with on the right Peck Slip connecting down to the water, and looking toward the west and the financial district, the Peck Slip School, which is an old postal facility that was transformed very recently to become a public school. This is the site viewed from the corner. Okay, now for the program. The Climatorium building is about 10,000 square meters or 110,000 square feet of gross area. And it consists primarily of 3 parts. First, the offices, really for the administrative center of the CCC. It's about 2,500 square meter net space. Second, the training center, a classroom, workshop, and supporting area. About 2,200 square meters of net areas. Third one, the community center, multi-purpose auditorium, exhibition space, bookstore, kids play area, after-school program, cafe, retail, and emergency supply store, about 1,800 square meter net. There is also an outdoor program, including a public plaza for exhibition, market, playground, and garden and greenhouses to support the training program. So again, a total of 10,000 square meter of gross area. We gave the students a degree of interpretation with the program to best tailor it with their needs and their ideas. But the overall program size and the kind of 3 main elements of the program have to kind of remain the same for everyone. All right, I hope this gives you a good introduction for the studio and the work you will see in the final review. We look forward to meeting you all very soon in person. Thank you again for coming and being with us, and have a good review. Thank you.